So I really thank you for the gift of your time and attention. Next 10 to 15 minutes or 20 minutes, what I'm going to speak with you and share with you is something very fundamental, basic research we have done in the last couple of years. Now, a few of you might have listened to my presentation before, or maybe here for the first time, and Armstrong may be a new name for you. And we had a couple of sessions around technology, teaching methodology, and this all thing we are doing more of, better of for last 20 years, 30 years, 15 years of your career. And still you have what's so in education in your institute. So what we are going to speak about sound in the next 10 to 15 minutes is going to give you a window of opportunity to look at where you conduct your operation in whole new light. But I guarantee you, it will impact your results, it will impact your performance, it will improve the quality of education in your institute, and this idea has a power to shift the way we do function in this country. So how many times kids in your school tell you, "Teacher, I can't be of you know? And typically a backbencher became a backbencher in our system because sitting on a backbench. And then we have a rotation of the classes. That's what my daughter does. And she says, some subject I don't understand because I'm on the last bench. And that's everyday phenomenon. So sound is something which affects us cognitively, behaviorally, psychologically, even though we are not conscious about it. It's omnipresent. It's all the time affecting us. So how brilliant teacher you are, or how good student you have, if they can't understand what you are saying in the class, how do we evaluate student and how do we evaluate teacher? And we say a better science around sound with some case studies which are done over the last couple of years in India. So this is what's so of Indian education. We're talking about Vipyo, Bangalore school, the first one. This is a public school, which is like 60-year-old classroom and a LEED certified new building. If you see across the category. And we have done more than 20 model classrooms in India with some leading groups across the category. The background noise level in the classroom is above 50 decibel. In fact, 60-65 decibel. And modern age, you can have an app called Sound Meter on your mobile phone. Just download the app and measure the sound dB levels in your class. And we'll go into deeper aspects of how attention span, learning ability, teaching skills are hostage because of background noise. But there is one more factor which you should be really present to when you're attending a conference like this, is reverberation time. And it's the same concept which you teach students in grade 8, grade 9. What's the practical application of it? Now, any physics teacher out here can tell me reverberation time is the time required for sound to die by 60 decibel. That's the time. Now, what's the implication of it? You know, you experience some of the halls you go and speak, they just reverberate. ऐसे echo बहुत है यहाँ. कितने बार आपको ऐसे experience हुआ? Now, you hardly could express most of the time, right? Because can we have a silence back there? Excuse me. Thank you. So most of the time, this is very profound for your teaching and learning because you are spending your life in that building. And we're talking about buildings where you spend your life. The most productive, operative, generative time of your lifetime. So this is something to pay attention to. So reverberation time is so important. If you see the time out here is something like pre-treatment, 1 second, 1.5 seconds. And when sound is reverberating in a space more than a half second, our ears can listen to that sound again. Means what? You have the same voice coming to you twice. So your brain tries to catch the noise. Again, when you say book in a reverberant room, have you heard as a book, bar? Depending on whether it's a South Indian or North Indian, she will write that word like that. This is one example. So VO has a different reverberation than CK. It overlaps between the words. So huge. So how do you expect a kid to be brilliantly understanding what you are saying and articulating when he's not hearing it in the first place? So these are some of the testimonials which I wanted to show it to you. We have done more than 500 projects in last 2 years alone. The few of the leading groups in India has already understood this. They have some architects and designers who've been using it from abroad. In India, we do not have a course in standard around sound when we build a school. We are working on it. I will share more of those. But first I will share with you some of the testimonial of what people are saying who are already using their schools. Sound?
Stall has to give lectures in a low pitch, and when the ceiling is not there, very high pitch they have to teach. Children sitting at the back were not able to concentrate, they were not able to hear the voice of the teachers who were not very loud. And we need to shout, and then the children used to get frustrated also that the teacher is always shouting all the time instead of getting a good rapport with the teacher, even though he or she was a good teacher. But here when the teacher is able to talk properly, he or she can concentrate on the teaching, and throughout the day the teacher teaches at the same pace starting in the morning till the end of the day. Whereas when the ceiling is not installed, the teacher in the first and second sessions is very good while teaching. But when it comes to the end of the day, the teacher also gets frustrated and then the lecture is not given properly.
My name is Naresh Duble and I have been teaching for the past 10 years, and I typically take a lot of classes in a day, and it was very vital for me if I am speaking at a low pitch. And by the treatment that we had here back in the Philippines, I could lower my volume while speaking. That would save a lot of energy throughout the day, and it helps me immensely to teach students more energetically. Plus the sound clarity also improved. Like previous time I used to switch off either fans or something so that I may exert less energy while speaking. But now I'm very much comfortable with it, and I find it to be very useful. And the class environment, my temperament, my mood, everything goes very nicely, and I'm very satisfied.
अच्छी है। सो आगे ये ज़्यादा इतना डेवलप नहीं हुआ और इसकी एक हिडन फैक्टर है। इस पर किसी ने कभी सोचा नहीं कि जो हम इंस्ट्रक्शन डिलीवर करते हैं वो स्टूडेंट के पास पहुंचता है कि नहीं। तो इससे ये जानने को मिला कि जो साउंड है वो क्लासरूम के अंदर एक इंटरनल अफेक्ट करता है। अगर उसको हम क्लियर कर पाए तो हमारे इंस्ट्रक्शन प्रॉपर लास्ट खास करके जो बैक बेंचर्स हैं वहाँ तक पहुँच सकती है। तो इसके लिए जो सर ने बताया कि हमको साउंड एब्जॉर्ब हो जाए ऐसी कोई सीलिंग लगानी चाहिए, तो प्रॉपर वेंटिलेशन भी होना चाहिए और क्लासरूम में एक एरिया होना चाहिए कि जहाँ से साउंड की इंटेंसिटी कांस्टेंट तो नहीं बोल सकते लेकिन इतनी होनी चाहिए कि जो बैक बेंचर से वो उसको सुन सके। फॉर एग्जाम्पल 30 and 13, अब मैं लास्ट बेंचर्स को बोलता हूँ 30, देन ही राइट 13 और अब उसको बोला 30 बोला तो बोलेगा 30। ओके, तो ये मेन डिफरेंस है। ये तो सिर्फ एक एग्जाम्पल हुआ, ऐसे कई ज़्यादा एग्जाम्पल्स हैं। बट AEI वो इंग्लिश सब्जेक्ट है तो उसमें AE का इसमें ज़्यादा मिक्सिंग हो सकता है, बहुत सारे वर्ड्स हैं। तो इसको ठीक करना चाहिए। तो हम जितनी मेहनत मोटिवेशन में करते हैं, एजुकेशनल पर्पज में करते हैं, स्मार्ट क्लास लगाते हैं, कंसेप्ट क्लीन करते हैं, तो इसको तो ज़्यादा खर्च भी नहीं है, तो इसको करना चाहिए तो ये ज़्यादा इम्पेक्ट करेगा।
So very beautifully he said, the education which we had in this country, like Shantiniketan, middle of the tree, was the best education. You are in jungle, there's no background noise, there's no reverberation time because there are no walls. So when you move into a building like this, you have a city traffic. The audio in one class, like teaching in one class is a noise in another class. You have kids running on the above floor, noise coming from there. On top of that, you have fan which is making noise, you have air conditioning systems, you have generators say, my God. So teacher comes into class and speak at maximum capacity what he or she could exert. Now somebody comes and like shout on best of his ability or her ability for hours to be the lecture of the lecture, class of the class, what happens to his ability or her ability. Now when you guys are listening to me clearly, it draws best in me to present what I know about the subject. And when you are merely reaching out to the last page because of the background noise level out there, this is what happened in the class. Now the city noise or a background noise is fairly constant. What is not constant is the noise coming out of the teacher's mouth. So inverse square law talk about 6 dB drop every 3 feet. Next 6 feet 6 dB drop. Next 12 feet 6 dB. That's the inverse law of sound travel. So after a row 5 or row 6, teacher noise is actually lower than the noise of the background noise. Space. So acoustics is extremely simple. It is when I was taught 10 years back in Armstrong, it's saying A, B, and C absorb the noise, which is low, block the noise which is unwanted, and cover the noise which don't require, like cafe, coffee, they are music, like the long music. So this graph below out here is extremely important to understand. The graph in the bottom, which talks about when as a human we are 6-year-old, if the background noise level is 1 dB less than a source of noise, I will not get anything. So as I mature, as I get into teenage, I get better at understanding. Even if it is 3 dB, 4 dB, 5 dB less than a background noise, I can still understand what audience is saying. So you and me going on the last bench, sitting in the class, will not get the world of 8-year-old sitting on that bench. He has a different world altogether. So Across Society for Education globally did a survey with lakhs of students and talked about something called signal to noise ratio. It's the objective index of understanding of the words and speech clarity. So in row 4 or row 6, where 0.6 or 0.4 signal to noise ratio exists, they miss 30% to 50% words spoken in the class. That's too much, right? So you can do practical solutions about it. I'll quickly touch upon that. In the same class, let's say same environment, same background noise, same teacher, same student, if you have an orientation which is long one, teacher speaking at 66 dB, background noise 55 dB, last one minus 7 dB. Same class, if you orient differently, like in another example, it will be minus 1 dB in the same scenario. And this kind of orientation may be the best orientation, but not always possible in K-12 classes. So what are we talking about? We're talking about we require more sound clarity. For that we require direct noise from a teacher going to the student. So the hard surface behind teacher is good. What we don't want is late reflection and that is possible only by size of the room, shape of the room and surfaces of the room. And that's physics. That's like global truth. So I want to show you a small video, again, which is talking about what is the scenario in normal class before judgment. This is how it sounds.
That man was rich. That's why farmers from his own village, farmers from the neighboring villages came to his rich man to lend money, to ask for money, and he used to give them.
So post-treatment, we just treated with the abnormal ceilings.
He was what ways of making money. Now, is it bad to earn money? No, but this man always to earn money, he never bother to cheat the people.
So you could see he's more articulated, he's more soft-spoken because he's confident of reaching and engaging with the class when he's speaking like that. What we have changed is not that digital tracking. We are not putting a wall to block outside noise. We just constructed some ceiling which absorb appropriate noise level to bring the reverberation down. In the previous example, you see 7 dB, 8 dB reduction in the background noise just because you have ceiling placed there. Mainly because the reverberant noise, which is adding logarithmically to the original sound, is removed from the equation. So what you have is the pure background noise in the space. There is no reverberant noise in the space, which makes such a huge difference as a testimonial. So global standard for reverberation time is 0.6 seconds, and 0.6 seconds for the empty classroom, because that is what you can measure. So when kids sits in, they absorb noise, it goes below 0.5 seconds. And the background noise is 35 dB. So I was fortunate to work with National Building Codes for Schools. They are getting released this next 3 months or 6 months. We're going to start with 45 dB for India, 0.75 as occupied classroom as a reverberation time. So we'll move toward benchmarking, something which we can achieve right now, and move toward excellence, which is a global excellence. So we and my team is out here, and we are around 70 strong across India. We will be very happy to come to your place, measure what is it, So whatever you can measure can improve. That is the first stage. So really invite you guys to connect with the sales team out here. You can raise your hands. We can actually meet you, exchange the card, come at your place, do an audit, and tell you the solution and a cost part of it. This is how many of you know about TED? Yeah? Great. So people who are listening to the TED for the first time, this is a platform which is technology, education, and design, where people come best in the world and speak for very short duration, 15-20 minutes. So I'm playing a clip out of the Julian Fraser. He's a 5-time or 6-time TED talker. He's a big guy. You can go there for 5 times and speak. He's talking about sound in education, and you find it valuable.
When I see a classroom that looks like this, can you imagine how this sounds? I'm forced to ask myself a question. Now, that's a little unfair. Some of my best friends are architects, and they definitely do have ears, but I think sometimes they don't use them when they're designing buildings. Here's a case in point. This is a £32 million flagship academy school, which was built quite recently in the UK and designed by one of Britain's top architects. Unfortunately, it was designed like a corporate headquarters with a vast central atrium and classrooms leading off it with no back walls at all. The children couldn't hear their teachers. They had to go back in and spend £600,000 putting the walls in. Let's stop this madness of open plan classrooms right now, please. It's not just these modern buildings which suffer. Old-fashioned classrooms suffer too. A study in Florida just a few years ago found that if you're sitting where this photograph is taken in a classroom, row 4, speech intelligibility is just 50%. Children are losing 1 word in 2. Now that doesn't mean they only get half their education, but it does mean they have to work very hard to join the dots and understand what's going on. This is affected massively by reverberation time, how reverberant a room is. In a classroom with a reverberation time of 1.2 seconds, which is pretty common, this is what it sounds like. Not so good, is it? If you take that 1.2 seconds down to 0.4 seconds by installing acoustic treatments, sound-absorbing materials, and so forth, this is what you get.
In language, infinitely many words can be written with a small set of letters. In arithmetic, infinitely many numbers can be composed from just a few digits with the help of the symbol 0.
What a difference. Now that education you would receive, and thanks to the British acoustician Adrian James for those simulations, the signal was the same, the background noise was the same, all that changed was the acoustics of the classroom in those two examples. If education can be likened to watering a garden, which is a fair metaphor, sadly, much of the water is evaporating before it reaches the flowers, especially for some groups. For example, those with hearing impairment. Now that's not just deaf children. That could be any child who's got a cold, glue ear, an ear infection, even hay fever. On a given day, 1 in 8 children fall into that group on any given day. Then you have children for whom English is a second language, or whatever they're being taught in is a second language. In the UK, that's more than 10% of the school population. And finally, after Susan Cain's wonderful TED Talk in February, we know that introverts find it very difficult to relate when they're in a noisy environment doing group work. Add those up, that is a lot of children who are not receiving their education properly. It's not just the children who are affected though. This study in Germany found the average noise level in classrooms is 65 decibels. I have to really raise my voice to talk over 65 decibels of sound. And teachers are not just raising their voices, this chart maps the teacher's heart rate against the noise level. Noise goes up, heart rate goes up, that is not good for you. In fact, 65 decibels is the very level at which this big survey of all the evidence on noise and health found that that is the threshold for the danger of myocardial infarction. To you and me, that's a heart attack. It may not be pushing the boat out too far to suggest that many teachers are losing significant life expectancy by teaching in environments like.
So, who is at more risk in school? Yeah, means a teacher. Yeah, there's a risk to the teacher, as Julian said. There's a huge risk for the kids, especially the kids who are disabled and get cough and cold, hearing disability or visual disability. They are like absolutely not getting educated in India. Even the special schools don't have it. So, serious law and sensitive issue when it comes. We talk about different theories of educating together and all those things. So, but this is a big problem, and really wanted to ask you to partner on this to elevate the quality of education. With the same teacher and the same student, you will have hour after hour, class after class, excellence getting executed in your institute, class invitation. So we as, I need 2 moments. So as an adult, we have no idea, as we saw before, how kids are getting sound in the classroom. And that's the whole purpose of putting up that building, getting the teacher, getting the curriculum, getting the smart systems in, but really not being mindful. Adding a lot of speakers or volume to the sound is like putting more power on a carom board, putting with the force. It doesn't give the solution. It actually reverberates more and create more chaotic situation. So we are working with PMC schools, we're working with international schools, we're working with all types of schools and higher education. So what makes a great school is a connection between teachers and students ongoingly. So Armstrong is global enterprise for more than 15 decades, globally present, market leader across geography, with the dominant market share in manufacturing and distribution and quality excellence. So we are very responsible people while getting product across to you, which are green in nature. So the new definition of green goal is productivity, but yes, we have products which are responsibly manufactured with very high quality and standards. You won't survive for 150 years without that. Once you do your classroom, the next best area is your lobbies, the passages, because any movement which happens in the lobby has potential to distract the student across the classes and it reverberates in the place. You can treat each area as per the potential of the area. We have different sizes, different volume, but we have same material on the floor, same material on the wall, and same material on the ceiling. That doesn't work. So mostly we treat auditoriums and class and a larger area, but not the classroom. This is a mission that you can have the classroom being treated in each of the space which you work with. So I'll just rush through the slides. So we have a lot of solutions, and our team, which is across India, can actually come and meet you, offer a solution, work with your designer, so that this place can, your place can, and actually became a very inspirational place. So, inspiring great places is our motto. We're happy to partner with you when it comes to creating the space which sound as good as they look, such that they are fit for the purpose, that improves our quality of our life, our health and well-being, our social behavior, and our productivity. This is a time to really start demanding the classroom that are designed for our years. Thank you.